morning. Myself, Dr. Ashok Jagannath Patil, Associate Professor at Pratap College, Amalner. Title of the today's lecture is Introduction and Biology of the Silkworm. What is the definition, history and the present status of the sericulture? Sericulture means silk farming. Sericulture is the rearing of silkworms for the production of the raw silk. Silk has been under the use by human beings for various purposes since ancient times. Pure silk is one of the finest and most beautiful natural fibers of the world and is said to be the queen of the textile. Silk is natural protein fiber mainly practiced in Asia, especially in India and China. What is the history of the sericulture? Silk production was known in China during 3500 BC for cultivating silk and of preparing cloth from it for more than 2000 years. The art of sericulture was held by Chinese very close secret, so much so that the leakage of any information or attempt to export the eggs or living cocoons was punishable with death. They introduced into India centuries ago. India is the second largest producer of the silk. Silk was called the queens of the textile. Present status. Sericulture as present is carried on many parts of the world. India stands fifth in the production of the silk. The other major silk producing countries in order of production are Japan, South Korea, USSR, Brazil, Bulgaria, Italy, etc. India accounts for little over 5% of the total global output of the mulberry raw silk and 10% of the tussar. Sericulture is well established agro-based industry worldwide. China and India are the leading producer of the silk. India is the second largest producer and the largest consumer of the silk. Sericulture provides employment to millions, especially in rural areas. What are the scopes of the sericulture? Innovative researchers have turned sericulture into an industry and now it has become a major cash crop of the country. The sericulture industry is unique for more than one region. It is based on agricultural output, especially cocoons and cottage-based labor intensive in nature. Sericulture generates employment, creates jobs for farmers, women, rural youth. Sericulture requires low capital investment. Silk producing centers in India and the world. In India, 97% of the raw silk is produced in the 5 Indian states. They are Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Mysore, North Bangalore. Another emerging silk producer is Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu were the first to have automated silk reeling units. In world, China, Thailand, Bangladesh, modern Europe, North America, these are the producers. Now, what are the types of the silkworms and their distribution? First one is the Muga silkworm. Muga silk, also called Assam silk. Muga silkworms also belongs to the same genus as tussar worm. It produces golden yellow silk thread The silk having glossy, fine, and durability. This silk can be hand washed. Second one is the Eri silk. This worm is also domesticated silkworm. This produces the brick red silk. The filament of the cocoon spun by these worms is neither continuous nor uniform in thickness. The cocoon cannot be properly reeled, therefore, the moths are allowed to emerge. Third one is the tussar silk. This species is native in India. Tussar silkworm, commonly called Vanya silkworm. There are many varieties such as Chinese tussar, Indian tussar, and the Japanese tussar silkworm. Indian tussar mainly feed on terminalia trees. Fourth one is the mulberry silk. Mulberry silkworm is completely domesticated insect exploited over 4,000 years. Adult moths are fat and primarily concerned with the reproduction. Larvae are voracious eater. Bombyx mori feed on mulberry. Some moths are single brooded or they are also called as univoltine and others are many brooded or called as a multivoltine. Bombyx mori produces cocoons with continuous silk filament and therefore can be industrially reeled to produce the raw silk. Now, we will see the life cycle of the Bombyx mori. These are dioecious. These insects are dioecious, means sexes are separate. Silkworm passes through complete metamorphosis, or it is also called as a holometabolous. Holometabolous means the insects which shows all the life cycle stages, that is the egg, larva, pupa and adult. Now we will study about the eggs. Each female lays 300 to the 400 small, smooth, subspherical, yellowish eggs. Eggs are tiny and weigh around 2000 eggs in a gram. Silkworm eggs are of two types. First one is the hibernating egg that is deposited in spring, which undergo the diapause and hatch out only in the next spring. Non-hibernating eggs derived from successive generation without any pause in a year. Here we can see the life cycle of the Bombyx mori. This is the adult one. These are eggs. These are the larvae. This is the cocoon. Eggs contain a good amount of the yolk and is covered by a smooth hard chitinous shell. In univoltine, they takes a month for hatching, while multivoltine broods come out after 10 to 12 days. Larvae. Eggs were bright yellow and under the influence of the suitable temperature, embryonic development takes place and color changes from yellow to brown, then grey. Newly hatched caterpillar is black or dark brown. It has large head and body is rough, wrinkled and densely covered with bristles. Body of larva is divisible into head, thorax and abdomen. Head bears the mandibulate mouthparts and three pairs of ocelli. A distinct hook-like structure, the spinneret, is present for the extrusion of the silk from the inner silk gland. Thorax forms the hump, which consists of three segments having jointed true legs. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth and ninth abdominal segments bear ventrally a pair of unjointed stumpy appendages each. Larva is voracious eater. In the beginning, chopped mulberry leaves are given as food. But with the advancement of the age, entire mature leaves are provided as a food. Caterpillar move in a characteristic looping manner. The larval life lasts for 3 to 4 weeks. During this period, the larva molds 4 times. A full-grown larva is about 8 cm long and becomes transparent and golden yellow. Pupae. The full-grown larva now stops feeding and becomes restless. On bamboo mountains, it is also called as the chandrika. They begin to spin their cocoons. The cocoon is formed from a secretion from two large silk glands open through a common duct of the spinneret on lower lip. These are the pupae. A clear viscous fluid is exposed to the air. It hardens into fine silk. Each silk gland extrudes a fine filament of pulpy material called the brine or fibrion, and two such brines are stuck together by sericin or silk gum in the spinneret to form a continuous fiber known as serric band about 500 meters long and 0.02 mm wide. Adults. The adult moth emerging from the pupa is incapable of flight as a result of its domestication. For more than 4,000 years, it does not feed during its short adult life. The body of the moth, like that of the larva, is composed of three distinct segments: head, thorax, and the abdomen. Another important characteristic in common with other moths and butterflies is that the body surface is covered with scales. The compound eyes are situated on either side of the head. The ocelli are absent. The antennae are conspicuous, large, and bipectinate. These are the male and the female Bombyx mori. The thorax consists of three segments, namely pro, meso, and the metathorax, as in the larva. The mesothorax is the largest and is pentagonal. There are three pairs of the thoracic legs, one pair on each of the three thoracic segments. Each of the thoracic leg is composed of five segments. The meso and the metathorax bears two pairs of the wings. The front pair is overlapping the hind pair when the moth is in the resting position. In the male, 8 abdominal segments are visible. In the female, 7. There are 6 pairs of the spiracles present laterally on either side of the body. Morphologically, the female and male can be easily distinguished in the adult stage. The female has comparatively smaller antennae. Its body and the abdomen are fatter and larger, and it is generally less active than the male moth. At the caudal end, the male moth has a pair hooks known as harps, whereas the female moth has a knob-like projection with sensory hairs. These differences helps to large extent in separating the sexes for preparation of hybrid eggs. Then what is the conclusion of this lecture? We study about the introduction to sericulture, types of silk moths, and life cycle of the Bombyx mori. Thank you.
Thank you.